I think when we originally engaged you, Sarah, that we were wanting to look at our PTO policy. And so, which is part of our handbook. And I think that you brought to light more areas than we even realized needed to be updated for compliance to be in compliance. And so we were looking at PTO because at a couple of our events that we had with the collective community, we were talking to other firm owners who their states may require it or they may choose to do it, but their part time team members qualify for PTO. Whereas in Texas, our part time team members that was up to us. That was our decision. And so that's what really I think spurred the whole conversation was we just started looking at options for how can we continue to compensate and increase the benefits to our team members because we don't want them to be poached by now these other firms that we call friends, right? And so that was just the tiny start to where this whole kind of engagement led to.
I just created all kinds of problems to solve.
Well, I think it's interesting because we didn't intend to hire people in multiple states. That wasn't necessarily a thought, say back in definitely not in 2011, but not even as recent as 2018. The thought was never. We didn't really think about having a virtual firm with employees nationwide or overseas. And with COVID, with some of our team members moving out, with going virtual and having the opportunity to just open up our talent pool that much more. So, our response to that was, well, we are now in multiple states. We'll sign up for a PEO and that will cover us. Then we don't have to worry about anything. The PEO is responsible for making sure we're in compliance. And, all we have to do is make sure we're paying people and giving them time off, And so I think that that too is you think you're doing the right thing or you think you're putting measures in place to keep you compliant. But the reality is there's still a lot of things to pay attention to when you're a small business owner.
It's the right thing to do. I mean, if you had come to me and said, we've got this Excel spreadsheet we're using it to as the back end of our payroll, I would have said, oh my gosh, get a PEO. And so that was definitely the first right choice. PEOs also have handbooks and documents like that. And I've looked at a lot of them and they're not terrible, but the general rule is you don't want to promise something in your handbook that you weren't uh, legally obligated to do unless you do it on purpose. So a lot of times what happens is people will pull handbooks specifically off of the internet and get all of this additional obligation on themselves from whatever company they took it from. And then now they are contractually obligated to live up to that. They've just created a whole bunch of new laws for themselves. So that's what the kind of the line you're trying to ride. And I know it's tricky. I think I can see how you get there.